Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about a very important constitutional provision that enshrines the very idea of pluricultural, multilingual linguistic ecology that we have in this country to the core of its constitutional provisions. India speaks and writes in many languages. And perhaps if you look at the number of languages spoken here and the diversity, linguistic diversity, it is amazing. A rough estimate believes that we have almost like 6,000 languages in the world, and almost one fifth are spoken here in this subcontinent. If you look at the census 2011, the data that were returned by the respondents to enumerators is eye-opening for all of us. If you go by the very mention of the number of returns as mother tongue, that is more than 15,000 varieties as mother tongue, and then they were reclassified, tabulated, and a lot of linguistic analysis was done, and Government of India comes up to 121 languages in the census 2011. Now, there may be debate on this classification. There may be debate on categorization of mother tongues, languages, dialects. We can do that. But one thing that is established, that India is a diverse, linguistically diverse country, and the urgent need to assert the linguistic identity leads the respondent to name varieties as their mother tongue, and which goes up to almost like 15,000 approximately, which is a very amazing thing to realize and to see. India is also home to many language families like Indo-Aryan families, right? Like Dravidian family, like Austro-Asiatic family, like Tibeto-Burman languages family, and of course Andamanese group of languages are there as well. So it's a very diverse country. Now, after we got independence in 1947, it was a debate. It was a very important debate in the Constituent Assembly to arrive on decision to have one national language. But subsequently, after lots of debates, contemplations, and considerations, Hindi was declared as official language of independent India. But the Constituent Assembly also mandated that other languages are also given importance, and they are also given opportunity to flourish and grow. So there is a provision contained in the Constitution of India that very elaborately defines and details the constitutional provision for official languages of this country. So, today we are going to talk about the eighth schedule of the Constitution of India. It is important for all people and scholars and students who are interested in understanding the linguistic diversity, constitutional provisions, and practices in this country. So, this topic that we are going to take up today, the eighth schedule, is very significant in that sense. The Constitution has 12 schedules. Indian Constitution has 12 schedules for detailing and specifying matters contained in the corresponding articles. The eighth schedule specifies the language recognized by the Constitution of India as official languages of the state and special provision relating to language spoken by a section of population of a state. Now, this is this diverse this provision as contained in the Constitution of India, the eighth schedule, is also a statutory acknowledgement of the diversity. The eighth schedule of the Constitution of India reflects the statutory acknowledgement of Indian linguistic diversity and plurality of culture. The growing demands of inclusion of more and more languages in the schedule represent the aspirations of other languages that require institutional support and constitutional protection. This tendency is encouraging and required to keep the multilingual fabric of India intact. Now, if you look at the background, we all understand the colonial history. We all know the colonial history of India. And 1835, the year, was very significant year. It was a significant year because Lord Macaulay minutes were submitted and a new era in language and education policy began in the British ruled India pre-independence. In 1854, Charles Wood's Education Dispatch was another milestone, and that generated a lot of argument and discussion on language policy, education policy in the country. Establishment of three modern universities, one in erstwhile Calcutta, now Kolkata, other in erstwhile Bombay, now Mumbai, and Madras, the third one, erstwhile, now Chennai. The Constituent Assembly debates continued over a period of almost 3 years from 1946 to 1949 and culminated into the enactment of the Constitution of India on 26 January 1950. Given the multilingual and pluricultural context of India, the Constituent Assembly debates and consequent language policies framing drew a far-fetched impact on administration, education, functioning of constitutional bodies, and so many other administrative domains in post-independent India. Now, if you look at the Constitution of India, you have dedicated articles for official languages and language policy of the country. That's a guideline, a remarkable guideline for the central government and the state governments to follow linguistic policies and practice them in reality, keeping aspirations of population in their mind. So, the Constitution of India had a dedicated section from pages 212 to 217 in part 17, official language, consisting of Article 343 to Article 351, which are dedicated to the matters of official languages of India and the Union of States. So, this section has 4 chapters from Article 343 to 351, Article and Section 17 has 4 chapters. In Chapter 1, we have official language of the Union and Commission and Committee of Parliament on official language from Article 343 to Article 344. Then we have Chapter 2, that is regional languages, covering issues of official languages or languages of the state, official languages for communication between one state and another, or between a state and the Union, and special provisions relating to language spoken by the section of population of a state from Article 345 to Article 347. Language to be used, Chapter 3 contains the provisions pertaining to language to be used in the Supreme Court and in the High Courts and for acts, bills, etc. A special procedure for enactment of certain laws relating to language and that are contained in from Articles 348 to Article 349. Chapter 4 is about language to be used in representations for redressal of grievances, facilities for instructions in mother tongue at primary stage, special officer of linguistic minorities, and directives for development of Hindi language from Article 350 to 351. That is the content of Chapter 4. Now, so in compliance to Articles 344(1) and 351, there are 22 languages included in the list in this 8th schedule, and in this schedule there are 22 languages till date as we are talking, and these languages in the 8th schedule include Assamese, Bengali, Bodo, Dogri, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Maithili, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Nepali, Odia, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Santali, Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu, and Urdu. Now, sequencing of these languages have no hierarchical reasoning. It's purely alphabetical. So, these languages have appeared in an alphabetical order, and the order of appearance does not convey any hierarchy and preference. We have to keep in mind. It was conceived that all the languages included in the list would qualify for the representation on official language commission, and there would be enriching sources for strengthening Hindi. Article 344, Section 1, page 212 and 213. It says, I quote, "The President shall, at the expiration of 5 years from the commencement of this Constitution, and thereafter, at the expiration of 10 years from such commencement, by order constitute a commission which shall consist of a chairman and such other members representing the different languages specified in the 8th schedule as the President may appoint, and the order shall define the procedure to be followed by the Commission. He's talking about Linguistic Commission, Article 344(1). It was believed when we adopted Hindi as our official language. Uh, I don't want to get into the detail of Constituent Assembly debates, but as a consequence of a very long, elaborate discussions and debates, a representation of other languages in this debate: Gujarati, Marathi, Bengali, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada. So all other languages were striving to get the biggest share. Hindi emerged as the winner and announced as official language. There is no national language, by the way, and that idea of official language, not national language, was to promote and keep the diversity and pluricultural society intact. It was believed that the languages which are also fighting for a status and position in the constitution, the major languages, they must also be represented and get their share. And that's why this 8th schedule was devised, and we have 14 languages initially included in the list. But that list was not exhaustive, is not exhaustive, and will not be exhaustive, because there is a provision of constitutional amendment and new languages can be added to the list depending on the demand and the size of population and representation. Originally, in 1950, when the Constitution of India was enacted on 26th January, the 8th schedule contained, the list contained 14 languages, right? And in the subsequent amendments, like for example, 7th Amendment in 1956, right? And 21st Amendment in 1967, and 71st Amendment in 1992, right? And 92nd Amendment is 2003. 8 more languages were added, and today we have 14 plus 8, 22 languages. So Sindhi was added in 1967 by 21st Constitutional Amendment Act. Then Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali were added in 1992 by 71st Constitutional Amendment Act, and Bodo, Dogri, Maithili, Santhali were added in 2003 by 92nd Amendment Act. And why there is a need to be enlisted in this schedule? Why languages or speakers of languages or the representation strive to be listed in the 8th schedule? So we need to understand the reason why this aspiration to be listed in the 8th schedule. Why all these languages are fighting to be listed? The languages which are left out are also striving and fighting to be included. So there must be some special provision and benefit of being included in the list. So what is that? The inclusion of languages in the 8th schedule mandates the Government of India to promote Hindi along with other languages included in the list as official languages. And if you look at the official languages resolution 1968, it says, I quote, whereas under Article 343 of the Constitution, Hindi shall be official language of the Union, and under Article 351 thereof, it is the duty of the Union to promote the spread of the Hindi language and to develop it so that it may serve as a medium of expression for all the elements of the composite culture of India. Thus, it becomes imperative for the Government of India to work towards promotion and development of languages listed in the 8th schedule. So, for institutional promotion, for getting being patronized, for getting support, resources to flourish, the other languages which are not included in the 8th schedule are striving to be included in the list, because it mandates the state government and the central government to promote and use these languages in official purposes. So that is why all these languages which are not included in the 8th schedule are striving to be included, and we have a lot of agitations, demands and representations for the same. The importance of the 8th schedule also gets underlined as it offers equal opportunity to the speakers of other languages other than Hindi listed in the schedule, as the 1968 resolution mandates, right? And in that resolution, I will read some excerpts for you from the official language resolution 1968. Some excerpts from that resolution, I quote. And whereas it is necessary to ensure that just claims and interests of people belonging to different parts of the country in regard to the public services of the Union are fully safeguarded, this House resolves that compulsory knowledge of either Hindi or English shall be required at the stage of selection of candidates for recruitment to the Union services or posts, except in respect of any special services or post for which a high standard of knowledge of English alone or Hindi alone or both, as the case may be, is considered essential for the satisfactory performance of the duties of any such services or post. This House resolves that all the languages included in the 8th schedule to the Constitution and English shall be permitted as alternative media for all India higher central services examinations after ascertaining the views of the Union Public Service Commission on the future scheme of examinations, the procedural aspects and the timings. I unquote. So we understand that why other languages are striving to get included in this 8th schedule, because this 8th schedule safeguards the interest of speakers of those languages who are included, which are included in the list. The list in languages included in the list get institutional support, get promotional schemes, and a wider spectrum to be used in official administration purposes. So other speakers or other languages speakers are also striving, agitating, demonstrating, demanding and representing the demand for inclusion. And this is the reason why it has fueled demands for inclusion of more languages to the 8th schedule. And at present, if you go by the government records, Government of India records, at present there are demands for inclusion of 38 more languages. So in addition to 22 languages that are already there in the 8th schedule, 38 languages are demanding to be included in the list. And these languages include Angika, spoken in parts of Bihar, Banjara, Bajika, Bhojpuri, Bhoti, Bhotia, Bundelkhandi, Chhattisgarhi, Dhatki, English, Garhwali, or you can call Pahadi, Gondi, Gujjar, or you can call Gujari, Ho, Kachachi, Kamtapuri, Karbi, Khasi, Kodawa or Kurg, also known as Kurg, Kokbarak, Kumauni, Kuruk, Kurmali, Lepcha, Limbu, Mizo, it is also called Lushai, Magahi, Mundari, Nagpuri, Nicobaris, Himachali, Pali, Rajasthani, Sambalpuri or Koshali, Shorseni or Prakrit, Siraiki, Tenidi and Tulu. So these are 38 languages which are demanding their inclusion in the 8th schedule. So why this 8th schedule is important? It is important and it's a beautiful provision by our constitution, you know, assembly, which decided to allow multilingualism in our official deliberations and execution of the jobs. So the languages which are included get institutional support. The languages which are included in the 8th schedule, gets mandatory support from the government, state government, central government for their growth. And the languages which are left out, and hundreds of languages are left out, but for the time being, there are 38 languages we just listed earlier are demanding for inclusion in the 8th schedule. So we need to understand that this 8th schedule is an acknowledgement of the fact that India is a multicultural, pluricultural, multilingual country, and even the state or the nation state gives opportunity, equal opportunity, support, and to these languages to grow and flourish. Constitution mandates the government to support these languages, and we have devised constitutional provisions in such a way that in future we'll have more languages listed in the 8th schedule and more languages in which the official works will be carried out, be it education, parliamentary affairs, state assemblies, lower courts, high courts, and other formal domains. We will be able to see these languages present, growing, and flourishing. So, thank you very much for watching.